The Premier League, in addition to being the hottest league in Europe, is also the most frightening league for managers. Fail to meet expectations or even until the performance drops, be prepared a manager will be fired from one club. This season alone, clubs in the Premier League have sacked their managers who are considered unable to bring the club to perform well. Not even the 2021-2022 season is complete, there have been 8 managers who were fired by their respective clubs. That's even more so since the last 4 Premier League seasons. Those fired midway through the season include Xisco Munoz, Daniel Fork, and Dean Smith. In addition to those 3 names, there are still 5 more who were also fired before the season was completed. 5. Steve Bruce, Newcastle United. The arrival of Saudi Arabian investors to Newcastle United did not please everyone. Newcastle United manager, Steve Bruce may be one of them. Bruce was sacked shortly after the Prince of Arabia acquired the Magpies. The club's reshuffle will be done by a new owner for Newcastle United, and unfortunately, it started by ousting Steve Bruce from the manager's chair. The 60-year-old manager was sacked after Newcastle was beaten by Tottenham 3-2. However, the dismissal was not due to the dictatorship of the new owner of Newcastle United. The reason is, instead of improving the position of the Magpies, Bruce delivered Newcastle to the brink of relegation with the 19th position. Not to mention, since taking charge of the Magpies from 2019, Bruce's winning record is only 29%. That percentage is fairly bad when compared to other former Newcastle managers such as Rafael Benitez, Alan Pardew, and Kenny Dalglish. 4. Nuno Santo, Tottenham Hotspur. Tottenham Hotspur, who appointed former Wolverhampton coach Nuno Santo after Pochettino's departure from the beginning, is strange. How could Spurs, who he said want to improve, but instead hired a former coach of a team that is clearly of quality far below Spurs itself? Although at the beginning of his leadership, Nuno managed to bring victories for the Lily Whites, including over Aston Villa and Newcastle United in October 2021, but in the end, Nuno showed how unable to handle a club as big as Tottenham Hotspur. Defeats to Arsenal, Chelsea, Crystal Palace, West Ham, and Dutch club Vitesse in the UEFA Champions League are bitter realities that Nuno has difficulty preventing. The negative nicks also made fans who initially felt sympathy with Nuno, instead turned around to say that the Portuguese coach was not suitable to handle Tottenham. For your information, reported by the BBC, initially, fans of the Lily Whites appreciated Nuno's arrival and performance. The fans forgave and showed sympathy to Nuno because the coach who came when the conditions of the Lily Whites were difficult, including one of the rumors of the departure of the captain and Spurs mainstay player, Harry Kane. But records clearly show that Daniel Levy did not properly appoint Nuno as Pochettino's successor. Moreover, Nuno's tactics that seem ordinary and deadlocked when attacked by opponents, as was the case when facing Manchester United before Nuno was fired. At that time, Tottenham Hotspur was slaughtered by the Red Devils 3-0 at home. As he ran out of new strategies for Tottenham, he only applied a counterattack strategy to Tottenham Hotspur even though it did not fit. 3. Ranieri, Watford. It's unfortunate this great manager, Ranieri, used to be thrown away by Leicester City and now he is officially kicked out of Watford. He has only coached Watford for 3.5 months from October 2021. The dismissal followed Ranieri's poor record during Watford's coaching. In 14 games led by Ranieri, he was only able to give Watford 2 wins, against Everton and Manchester United. From a string of bad results, it was the most painful was the 3-0 defeat to Norwich City, its rivals in the relegation zone. Puzo's family is certainly unhappy with the result and wants Watford to stay out of the relegation zone. 2. Rafael Benitez, Everton. Everton, once a pretty great and dangerous team, are now losing their power. Whether this is because of the influence of the new owner or because of the frequent change of manager, certainly one of the perpetrators of Everton's setback is a manager who has a big hand. In this context is Rafael Benitez. In Everton's last 13 games led by Benitez, only 2 have been fruitful victories, namely when beating Arsenal and Hull City. Such a poor record was enough to get Everton to sack Benitez. Not to mention he also failed to meet expectations and failed to recover Everton's bad situation. Rafael Benitez's tactics for Everton also seemed undeveloped. Benitez, who famously has good defensive tactics, it is easy to concede from set pieces. He also put up some inappropriate players. For example, When Everton travelled to Norwich City, at that time Benitez used a 4-4-2 scheme and put Solomon Rondon and Dominic Calvert-Lewin up front. As a result, both players were helpless and Everton lost to Norwich 2-1. Everton's only goal coming from Richardson, who came on as a substitute. 1. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, Manchester United. When it comes to Ole's dismissal, it has sounded loud when he was still coaching Manchester United. Every week, the Ole-out hashtag always resonates on our social media, especially if the Red Devils are defeated. For example, when Manchester United was beaten by Liverpool at home, 5-0. Instantly, the wave of requests from fans to fire Ole was even louder. Moreover, from the beginning Ole coached Manchester United, he left the Red Devils trophy cabinet only filled with cobwebs and only became a nest of cockroaches. So the sacking of Ole Gunnar from the Red Devils manager's chair is a certainty. Ole was sacked from Old Trafford on the 21st of November 2021. Manchester United now has a new German architect, Ralf Rangnick. The question is Ole's dismissal the right decision? In the Premier League season 2020-2021, Ole Gunnar, who is considered poor tactics, in fact, able to bring Manchester United finished in second place. The result was also accompanied by his performance to training the Red Devil, which was actually not so bad. According to Footy Stats, Ole's average points per game at Manchester United is 1.54, while last season Ole averaged 1.95 points per game. This is the second highest in the history of Manchester United. Ole only lost to his former coach Sir Alex Ferguson, who had points per game of 2.1.